Hello, Internet. It is Barry once again, with the first game of the semi-final of the Manchester StreetPass tournament, the Qualifier. Now, in the top four, we've already got our passes, so there's nothing at stake in this game, but this game and the final were done on the big screen, so there's the whole, real-life tournament aspect there, so, spectators and crowd reaction and all the rest of it. And, looking at the team preview, I recognise his name, GarchompGuy. I see him on Pokémon Showdown. I think that's probably where I recognise him from. Anyone that spends, good amounts of time on Showdown, at least knows something. At least they know how to play the game. And his team is, it's painfully boring, honestly. It's absolutely standard, no surprises at all. Well, not really, anyway. Just utterly standard stuff. And so, it should be simple enough to play around, I guess. That's what I'm hoping anyway. You can't take anything for granted with Pokemon, really. I mean, it is Pokemon, isn't it, after all? But, I obviously feel comfortable enough leading with just my Raichu and Azumarill. And, I'm kind of forced into going for the fake out on his Garchomp, just to stop any kind of earthquake. I know that, his Rotom is free to do whatever it wants this turn. It can burn me, but a +6 burnt Azumarill is still a threat. If I did use Fake Out on the Rotom instead, then we could have sort of traded Pokemon. He could have knocked out my Raichu, I would have knocked out his Garchomp with a Play Rough. But, I preferred this situation, really. But I've got this, it is burnt now, but it is a +6 Azumarill. His Garchomp did protect last turn, so, maybe it might want to switch out, maybe it wouldn't. This Rotom can't do anything now to my Azumarill apart from Hydro Pump it, so the best thing it can really do is, just sort of threaten my Raichu a little bit. But I actually go for this double target, this Aqua Jet and Hidden Power Ice onto his Tyranitar. Not many things would like to sort of switch into that. And it knocks it out, which is very nice. And so his Rotom, again, like I just said, it can't really do too much. It goes for the Hydro Pump, but it actually avoids. It misses my Raichu, which I'm quite happy with. 80%. It's got to bite you at some point, hasn't it? He brings in his Kangaskhan now, though, and I think I'm expecting a fake out on my Raichu, and so I bring in my Amoonguss. And so I suppose like the last game where there was an Azumarill and a Kangaskhan out, this is just a perfect situation again for Amoonguss to come in. So I bring the Amoonguss in. I think I'm protecting, yeah, with my Azumarill, just in case he does want to use Fake Out. Rotom Wash can't really do too much to Amoonguss, but he doesn't use Fake Out. He actually goes straight for a Double Edge, which does a chunk of damage to my Amoonguss. Look at that, that's a lot of damage, but with the Rocky Helmet and all the recoil from Double Edge, we can see it's actually done a big chunk of damage to this Kangaskhan as well, potentially in Aqua Jet range. Potentially. So, this next turn, this next turn's quite interesting. He withdraws his Kangaskhan, and I seem to remember I withdraw my Amoonguss. I do, yes, because I want some Regenerator on there. I think this Rage Powder could potentially be quite useful, and so I'm taking it back, but also I am actually a little bit threatened by his, just in case this Aqua Jet isn't going to knock out this Kangaskhan, he could use Double Edge again, knock out my Amoonguss, and then he will be free to use Thunderbolt on my Azumarill, and I will be in a very bad situation there. So I don't want to take any chances. I don't want to, risk that happening. So I do bring my Raichu back in to hopefully take a Thunderbolt. That's what I was expecting. But I do go for this Aqua Jet. Burn +6. It does a lot of damage to this Gardevoir. He actually shows Discharge. So this is another reason why he took his Kangaskhan out, so that he actually could use this Discharge. Which, is quite nasty. Raichu can't do anything to prevent Discharge hitting Azumarill. But, luckily, I get a nice +1 with my Raichu there. Now, I do have an inkling, a suspicion that this Gardevoir is actually Choice Scarfed, and so I go for a double target on this on this Gardevoir. He actually does hit his Hydro Pump here, but I put it to sleep. I don't want to knock it out because he has already moved this turn. He isn't going to get the sleep animation. He's got a guaranteed sleep turn next turn, and that gives me a little bit more momentum because his Rotom isn't really doing much in here. I get a +1 Thunderbolt off on this Rotom, which does a nice chunk of damage. His next Hydro Pump does hit my Raichu as well. But basically, I get to, because he did do that, I get to put this Rotom to sleep as well. So this Rotom I know now doesn't have safety goggles or anything like that. There's no Chesto Berry, and I'm down to my last two. But I'm not worried because Tyranitar and Amoonguss do work really well together. But I just have to play smartly. I just need to keep my mind because this Gardevoir has had one sleep turn now. There's a 1 in 3 chance that it could wake up, and it hasn't made any moves yet, so it can lock itself, providing it's choiced, it can lock itself into whatever it wants to. So it could potentially wake up this turn. It could potentially go for a Psychic on my Amoonguss and knock it out, and then my Tyranitar would be a lot easier to handle. So I do make a really safe move here, and just in case he wakes up, I go for the Protect. And it just so turns out that this Gardevoir does wake up. It's faster than my Tyranitar, so it probably is, or there's a good chance that it is Scarf. Goes for the Psychic on my Amoonguss, which is perfect. It's perfect for me. Because I get this Dragon Dance off, this Rotom has to stay asleep this turn. And just in case he is timid, the Sandstorm knocks him out as well. If he was timid and Scarfed, then he would still outspeed my Tyranitar, and he would be able to get this Psychic off on my Amoonguss. But luckily, that Aqua Jet did bring him down to such a point with the Sandstorm as well to just sort of take him down. Now he brings in his Kangaskhan here. He's got to. It's his last Pokemon. He doesn't bother with any Fake Out or anything. Even if he did use Fake Out on my Tyranitar, I'm just using for the Rage Powder to stop this Rotom doing anything to my threat, basically. And just a case of rolling out the win again. So that is game 1 of the semi-final. So that is me being 9-0 in this tournament so far, which is it's quite nice, isn't it? But it's got a solid team. He's got a very boring team. He's got a team that you would expect to see, sort of around February, March, April this year. I guess it's a very sort of old 2014 team, and so I don't feel too threatened by it really. I feel like I can play around it. I do suspect that this Gardevoir is Scarfed, so that makes it even easier to play around. Kangaskhan is obviously always a problem. Got to play smartly. My Amoonguss is actually doing quite a lot of work in this tournament, isn't it? Sometimes Amoonguss just sort of sits there in the corner of my team and just sort of does nothing really, but it's actually putting in a lot of work at the moment, to which is quite happy. Really makes me think that my team is actually quite balanced and good after all. But whatever. I'm babbling on. So. I hope you've watched this. I hope you have watched it, but I hope you've enjoyed it as well. I hope you've all watched it, guys. So yeah, please feel free to like the what I mean, do all that business. If you want to, obviously only if you want to. But yeah, if you've enjoyed it, brilliant. Thanks for watching, guys. Tomorrow there should be game 2 of this semi-final up. So cheers for watching. Bye for now.